Okay. All right. We are live. Yes, we are.
Right.
Okay.
Back at it.
It took us a while,
Yes.
but we're back.
We're
back, baby.
And we did check in.
We did check in, and we also got the video done.
Yeah, which was excellent.
For Highland Duncan. So, but we needed to get it done anyway. It was
Exactly.
a good chance for me
We
to
promised
test.
it for a while.
Yeah.
I think we originally promised it to George in Strasbourg.
Right.
So hopefully he's seen it. But yeah, check out the latest video, which was Dion's project. It's excellent on lighter maintenance.
Yeah, so I've now got a nice clean, nicely firing, not too charred wick there.
Yeah.
It's sparking nicely. So yeah, did the business. Oh, Tater Dom, cheers fellas.
Tater Dom has been like
He's
first
on.
3 times in a row.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother.
I feel like that deserves a prize.
Yeah, I do.
But we've run out of snuff. So
Yeah.
we'll get some more.
We'll get some in for sure, because
Yeah.
I think we're both like going hard on the snuff at the minute. I know I am. I mentioned in the last video I got a couple of new ones, and one of them was high dry toast,
Yeah.
labeled high dry tea, because if it has a food kind of description, you might eat it. So you know the government's looking out for us though.
God bless it.
Yeah. So as is tradition, I am going to kick off with a little two.
Yeah. And I am going straight in with one of the new blends that we've picked up, some of the C&D stuff just while you're tapping away. So we picked up...
Do you want to try this one?
I will, yes please. That's an interesting colour.
Very
Yeah.
toasty.
Not what I expected. So I've got the Autumn Evening that I'm going with there. That's a very
Thanks, bro.
sweet but very rich, jammy, aromatic.
Yeah. Are you smoking the autumn evening?
I'm going on Autumn Evening.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I'm going to go with my favourite out of the haul, which was Old Joe Krantz.
It is also my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you make of the toast?
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good, yeah.
Just plain, unflavoured.
It is, yeah. Yeah.
Super dry.
Yeah.
It hits hard.
It does, but I don't know if it's just that my technique's improving and I'm not kind of sneezing quite as much, but I'm getting a kick, but it's not as I'm not reacting straight away.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really nice.
I agree, man. My technique has improved as well, and you know that sting like up there. I don't think you're actually supposed to get that. It's supposed to, and I find that I prefer a pinch over the box
snuff. Yeah.
And just get it right to the tip of the nose, just as much inside of the nostril as you need it to be to actually get it. Right. And then I find that it will just coat the inside of the nose and not actually go up. You can avoid that drip and that sting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a good move, and I feel like I'm naturally starting to kind of ratchet down the snuff now. So yeah, but it's good.
It smells good.
It's good. It is really
smells
good. It's a biter, so as you found, it is very, very
it is
robust. It's
a
bit bitey, but it's good. So we've got some guys on already. We've got Philip Sutherland. Great to have you on. Highland Duncan, always a pleasure, young man. Always a pleasure. We've got Marcus Renner. Marcus, great to have you on board. We've got Matt Barnett. Hi guys, great to see you on, Matt. Thanks for dialing in. So you'll notice that we've got a bit of a change of scenery. So one of the things I also wanted to get done was to get this finished. So me and the missus had finally got around to putting our heads together and getting this sorted out. So we've got it all cladded out. This is our new bar. Jimmy King, hi guys. Hi Jimmy, good to see you fella.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming in.
So this is going to be so when we say it's the green dragon.
Yeah.
This is the bar of the Green Dragon. So we're getting going now. So we've got a nice bar. I've got my trusty Harry Craddock's Savoy cocktail recipe book, and one that my brother bought me as well. Actually, The Alchemist. The Alchemist is a chain in the UK. They do all sorts of fancy cocktails. Most of it for show, but there's some interesting stuff in there, so I'm going to give those a bit of a go.
Nice.
Do like a cocktail.
Yeah.
What about you, bro? You're smoking the OJK, and I'm a bit jelly. I don't mind telling you. It is my favourite.
Yeah, I'm going with the Sauvignon Oscar Tiger, nice straight with a saddle stem.
Yes.
One of my favourites that's come to be. And yeah, I'm going with the Old Joe Krantz, which, as we've said a few times, it's the sister blend to Haunted Bookshop, swapping the white burleys for the darker burleys.
Yeah, it's blinding.
And for me, it makes all the difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Those white burleys, they've got a bit more of a muted, sour kind of a taste, which is not unpleasant. But for me, when I want burley, I want...
That's it.
Yeah, I want chocolate, I want coffee, I want rich, malty kind of flavour, and this delivers. And not only does it deliver on the burley, but when that perique comes in.
Oh, yeah.
For some, I mean, we've said it before, but Cornell and Dior.
And the Burley Flake had got that.
Burley Flake has got it.
But that's got it better.
Yeah, I think so. And I, as soon as I lit this up, I compared the two instantly.
Yeah.
I think they're very similar. Yeah. But like we've said many times before, Cornell and Dior really masters that like time delay perique.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what it is.
I don't know how they do it.
I don't know what the magic is.
Magic, yeah.
But it's not always there from the off, but it comes in and it provides that like plummy, fruity goodness.
Yeah, yeah.
It makes it just like smoking a chocolate pudding or something.
Does like a time where like just as you, for me at least anyway, it's in the last third that it really comes to the fore. Just as you start, as I'm starting to kind of my interest starting to wane a little bit, and it's I'm just kind of getting to the ash. It's going to be ashy, going to be dottly, but as soon as that perique kicks in, it's like I'm smoking right to the very end. So we've got a couple more on there. So we've got Barnet. Hope you guys are good. We're good. Yeah. So we're still at mine, but obviously we've got the new bar. So just a change of angle. Jimmy King. He's just finished a bowl of Green Dragon. Well, that's
nice.
Very in keeping.
Yeah. So I think there's some like Lord of the Rings inspired blends from a blender called the Country Squire.
Yeah.
Which, you know, maybe we could look into.
Not a bad shout. Phil Sutherland, he's got Peterson Nightcap.
Oh.
So, the Peterson Nightcap, I think, so there is another blend that we've picked up. The Balkan type Byzantium. Great name. Glorious name. But, and that's kind of like their crack at, what it feels like their crack at Nightcap.
Yeah.
And again, slightly different. The Latakias are dialed back a little bit, I found, to the Nightcap.
Yeah.
Love Nightcap, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I love Nightcap, I really do. For me, the Nightcap is obviously it's a Latakia bomb, but that perique, again, it adds that fruitiness that really adds some interest. But yeah, I mean, when I read the description of the Byzantium, it's the lack of Virginias and the composition of the Latakia, Orientals and Perique. It sounded to me like Nightcap.
Yeah.
But it's much different. It's more Perique heavy. Yeah. It's a lot fruitier. That fruity note is much more at the forefront. And the Latakia is there, but more muted than Nightcap. I love Nightcap. Yeah. I mean, I've really found with the Peterson blends, and you know, maybe I'm jinxing it now, but they don't bite.
No, they don't. No. And I so it's a bit of a theory for you. So I sometimes think that like the presence of a bit of bite sometimes is quite a good little safety valve to stop you getting nick sick if you're a bit of a chugger.
Well, for sure.
I'm a bit of a chugger.
Yeah.
So I was on 3Ps the other night and I messaged you like, it's the first time I've got nick sick, and I just started to kick in with nick sick for the first time, and only the second time ever, for the first time in probably a year, 18 months maybe, because I've got quite a decent tolerance. I wasn't smoking it in the near up, so that might have made a difference. But I was well on my way. So I had to go and dash in for some chocolate and a drink.
Chocolate
sorted it right out. Yeah.
Well, this is a topic
because there's no bite.
Right.
I was just chugging away until I got it.
Right. Well, exactly. That's the thing. I mean, when you got Peterson blend, they've done their Peterson magic to that, whatever that is. Also, 3Ps being such a burly heavy blend.
Yeah.
And this is a topic that we were planning to discuss anyway, so maybe we'll go into it now. But the burly, it's tough to get a bite on burly, you know, I find. Even when you're pushing a blend, really puffing away on a burly blend, if there's a predominance of burly, it really cools down things. And the worst that you get is a bit of roughness, a bit of acidity, a bit of ashiness from the Burley, but it doesn't actually bite.
No.
So yeah,
which is why I think they end up putting it in quite Virginia-rich blends anyway.
Right, exactly.
To tone them down. Golden Virginias, I would say.
Maybe, the bright stuff.
Yeah, the red V's I think tend to be a little bit. I found at least anyway, tend to be a little bit more subtle and a bit less.
Yeah.
A bit less sharp.
And even in the Gareth blends. The darker Virginias. They're less bitey for sure, but they will nip if you push them. But yeah, I've heard that even blends that are sold as straight Virginias, they will actually put like a touch of white burley in there to, just to cool,
to back it
take
off.
the edge off.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
it was Caleb White Knife. He's a knife maker, but he also does pipe videos. Again, well worth a check out on Caleb's channel.
Yeah.
And it was on his recommendation that I ended up buying this as a way to back off, because I do like a Virginia blend, but because I'm a fast smoker, I have to really concentrate on backing off my cadence. And he was saying about, it's better to have a long stem. If you like a church warden, get a church warden. He prefers the Clarks actually, so it's just the right sort of size and length for him. He doesn't like a full on church warden.
No.
He likes a nice reading pipe.
Yeah.
Nice size bowl. He likes a nice tall bowl, so that sort of takes care of bite. But for me, man, I completely agree. Like, get some burley in there, you can't go wrong. Until you get tongue bite, until you get nixie.
Well, I was given some advice quite a while ago when I was quite new to smoking a pipe, and I was talking about tongue bite, and a guy, and he posted on the Reddit forum a lot, but he's no longer active. I think he's doing his own thing. But anyway, his name is Darkfired Kentucky.
Okay.
Really great guy, very knowledgeable, and a very cool guy. And he told me if you have tongue bite, he said a blend called Carter Hall. I think he said Carter Hall Black cures it. Okay. Now, Carter Hall is one of those sort of like Condor equivalent blends.
Right.
Not in terms of taste and composition, but it's an over-the-counter kind of old lads blend in America. But I looked into it, and it's largely burley. And I thought, well, I'll give the old burley a go. And I came to the conclusion, if I had a night where I was maybe, had a couple of whiskeys and, the old cadence went to hell, and I woke up with a burnt mouth, if I wanted to smoke, which, I did, burley. Yeah. And then when I got a Falcon, burley in the Falcon, that means you can enjoy a flavourful smoke, but also the burley actually seems to cure the tongue bite. Seems to cure the burn. I don't know what it is, a bit of hair of the dog situation.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe it's like a chemical composition or whatever it is. But I found similar.
I mean, Flat Cap Piper told us about that a while ago, if you remember.
I do.
I can't remember what you...
Right. Just to kind of smoke your way through it.
Right. I am going to put us on a mix that will not do that.
While you're doing that, I'll go through the comments. So we've got Liam Walker. Good to have you on, Liam. Says if you like a nightcap, give Ashton Artisans blend a go.
Okay.
Sort of Cadbury versus Galaxy. Okay, interesting. It's not one I've come across, but I'll take a look at that. And we've got Phil Sutherland. He said, "Oh, he's still trying to light the Pete's and early morning pipe. Some funny smell, taste to it. Going to give it some more time." I really like it. I think it's a blend I really, really get on with, and I love it. And it doesn't have to necessarily be first thing in the morning. I just find it a really smooth, easy smoke. First half of the day for me, or even like early afternoon. A nice lunchtime smoke from sat outside in the garden. That really does it for me.
Yeah, I think I found my old mix that I normally play.
Oh, outstanding. Yeah,
there we go.
And we've got a bottle of the old Buffalo Trace on there for tonight. So today is the feast of St. Pantaleimon for us. So it means normally on a Wednesday we are supposed to refrain from alcohol.
Yeah.
But tonight, very nicely, we're all good. We're canning. So having a drink to St. Pantaleimon. So yeah, the Buffalo Trace. What a blend. What a blend of whiskey.
Beautiful whiskey. Beautiful bourbon.
I just as I was sat last night, so I've been starting to listen a bit to Tyler Childers on your recommendation. and he was saying if whiskey could talk. If whiskey could talk to me, drink me, drink me.
Right, good. Whiskey gonna ease my pain. Right. Love Tyler Childers.
I'm just in the cupboard. We'll get a glass. Got some nice glasses.
Did you listen to Feathered Indians?
Yes.
Yeah, Feathered Indians. That's like Tyler Childers 101. Love that.
Yeah.
Very kind of like upbeat, nice kind of song. But he's got a lot, like you were saying, he's got a lot of songs with some, kind of like biblical Christian overtones, and they're kind of like about the toughness, the grittiness of living in, the South.
Yeah.
I don't have any experience of that, but I can
certainly relate to the grittiness and the toughness of it.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Tough. I was talking about like hard times and just the toughness of being a working man and trying to provide for your family. I think it's
absolutely
that's it, man. Yeah, it's really good. So I'm all over that. And Sturgill Simpson, who produced it, as I found out. So
Sturgill Simpson's good.
But what stunned me was when he said, "Oh, so I was listening to Hard Times," and you're like, but if you listen to Hard Times live, have you had second breakfast? Right? No, I've not selected that man. His voice somehow, amazingly, freakishly, was even better on the live recorded version, and it's just him with two mics.
Yeah.
Not an electroacoustic. It's just mic'd his acoustic up.
He's amazing live, yeah.
In a nice sounding room, but his voice is absolutely killer. Then you let the bomb slip that apparently he learnt in the choir. There you go. That'll do it for
you. Grew up in Kentucky.
Yeah.
And sang in the choir. Yeah. Shake the Frost is another good one. Follow You to Virgie. And Charleston Girl. Charleston Girl's a lot of fun, and I don't think he's actually recorded a studio version of that, because the only version I can find is live, where it's an absolute banger.
Yeah.
Charleston Girl.
Alright.
Yeah. So I definitely think that we should get some Colter Wall or Tyler Childers, both Colter Wall and Tyler Childers tickets if they make it to the UK, which I'm sure they will at some point.
I'll pick up a Stetson before then.
Absolutely, mandatory.
It's got to do it. Got to do it. So Highland Duncan, good to have you with. It's funny, all the comments. He's going to have a tin of nightcap lined up to open later this evening. Good shout. Great shout. Matt Barnett, he hated the Artisan blend. Okay, definitely not for his taste buds. That's strong words, bro.
I think I remember him actually asking me about that.
Okay. Marcus Renner approves of the Buffalo Trace. Excellent. Yeah, we love it. Duncan, Zippo never worked better. Good. That's what we like to hear. It's funny you mention that though, because I have had a Duff one. So that one that I don't know what I'd done to it. If I blunted the wheel, probably from misuse. But my old the one that I've got that I replaced the insert with. The Wolf one, that I use for cigars now, but I really mullered that. I don't know what I've done to that with. I think it is probably serviceable. I'll have to drill the rivet out and pick up a new flint wheel. If I really begged and pleaded to somebody, I could just get it sent back to Zippo, because it's supposed to be lifetime warranty.
Right, exactly.
I've not maybe have I misused it? I don't know. I've probably been a bit of an idiot. But anyway, I just replaced that with the butane insert, and that's rocking and rolling for cigars.
Sounds, yeah. I seem to be replacing my flint more often than I think I should be. I don't know what that is.
I think it's more so for tobacco in a pipe, I think, than a cigar than a cigarette. I think.
Yeah.
Because we like more, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I'm getting through. The other thing as well that I noticed that I didn't actually put on the video, but I've seen a couple of guys do it, is to do a reverse grind on the wheel before you start it off, as a way to just sort of flatten it off.
I do that as a habit.
It's supposed to be a good thing to do.
Yeah, okay.
But I forgot last time. So this one I might have to take this one for the team. But yeah, it's supposed to be a good habit to get into. Okay, so Jimmy King, when he first tried Nightcap, took it slow, finished the bowl and thought no nick hit, stood up and immediately sat his duff down. Now we know why Superman felt when he came onto Kryptonite. It does definitely creep up on you. I think.
I had that same experience with Black Irish Twist. I was it's quite a wet blend, and I've not dried it out. I remember being sat in the garage one night and really trying to get it lit, and I didn't feel anything. And then when
it's coming.
But then when the bowl was done, I stood up and, good lord,
wallop.
Yeah, that was it, man. I was sick for about half an hour.
Liam Walker, so the best zipper maintenance 101 he's seen on YouTube. Oh, God bless you, thank you.
I think it was excellent.
Thank you.
Great video.
You wish you'd seen it before he got his first. Well, don't worry, look, these things, they're built to last, so you know, it'll come in handy, hopefully. And all the stuff that I put on there is just stuff that I picked up from, you know, from other channels and stuff. But yeah, I'm glad I could be of some assistance.
Something to mention is that in a couple of weeks' time, we are going to be going out camping on a Saturday.
Proper camping.
Yeah, proper camping. So we thought that we really enjoyed doing that like off the cuff video.
Yeah.
When we were out fishing, and we're planning to do like a similar thing. So it'll be a pipe cast, really.
Yeah.
You know, we'll get around. We'll cook up dinner. We'll
split
eat
some wood.
Yeah.
Yeah. Get the gilly kettle. So I'm gonna take the gilly kettle with me.
Yeah.
We'll get a brew on.
And once we're all done, and we bring out the briar, we'll stick the camera on.
Yeah. That's kind of good.
I'm gonna get a little case for my cigars.
Oh, that's a good job. What was the blend that you took out with you last time? That was a flake, wasn't it?
That was Stockerbie.
It's heavy duty.
I think it's called Fourth Generation, and it's named after a year, and I think it's 1943. Might be wrong, but it's a very simple Virginia burley with a nice honey brown sugar kind of a casing. Absolutely delicious. And you know what? Just for nostalgia's sake, I might get 10.
I'm thinking the same.
When we go out camping.
Yeah, I think we want to make it a regular.
Yeah. I remember you were smoking the black cherry, Gareth Black Cherry.
That's right. Yeah.
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 That's a weird thing to remember.
It's good memory. Good shout.
I remember. Yeah.
I think that's a move. I just remember I remember getting a whiff of your stock of it. Oh,
yeah. I remember taking Navy Flake, Samuel Guard's Navy Flake, and the Stockerbie.
Yeah.
And I don't think I smoked any of the Navy Flake because I was just so hot on the. And I just bought a new cob recently as well. It was the Boone Straight.
Right.
Nice green stem, bit of a poker.
Yeah.
Poker kind of thing. But yeah, what pipe do you think you'll take?
It's funny you mention about buying a new cob. Because I've left mine at yours and that was a bit of an emergency. So I'm now currently cobless at home.
Right, not a good situation.
Not good, and I do like a cob, especially for arrows. I've got my arrow in this one, and apparently it's a bit of a ghost doing, so it's a bit of a silly thing to do, but I'll get through it. I'll soon blaze my way through that.
Alright.
But I was thinking about picking up another cob, so, but yeah, I don't know. Well, the Cobbits look quite nice.
The Cobbits are nice. I know the GQ has got some new ones in that are quite nice.
Yeah.
Some acrylic stemmed ones. Some black ones, some black cobs.
Oh, okay.
Some blacked out cobs. So maybe we put an order in soon so that you've got a cob and we've both got the Stockerbie.
That sounds a good shout
for the camp.
I need some long cleaners as well.
I can hook you up.
Yeah, so let's do that. Okay, so we've got Marcus Renner. He got crushed by Mac Barron's HH Rustica. This is not going to smoke it soon again.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So has that actually got Rustica in? Because that's something I mentioned a couple of times. Rustica.
Yeah. So just go give us the QRD on that.
So yeah, we smoke, and I'm probably not going to pronounce it correctly. What we smoke when we smoke pipe tobacco and cigars is Nicotiana Tabacum or something like that.
Okay.
But there's a stronger variety, cultivar or whatever.
Yeah.
Called Rustica, which is what they smoke in like the jungle in Peru. I've spoken about that.
Yeah.
It's used in like the plant medicine ceremonies.
Yeah.
And I think you can get it in Russia. It's got a different name, begins with M. Maybe someone can let me know about that.
Yeah.
It's called Mapacho in Spanish.
Okay.
In South America, it's called Mapacho, and that's the Rustica, and apparently it's real strong, strong.
Yeah.
And apparently it's not too dissimilar in taste from a brown twist. Okay. I'm told.
Cool.
But maybe that's something that we should try.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I've seen sites where you can get hold of it.
Let's take a look at that then. That might be the next move if we end up with any more delivery shenanigans.
Yeah. Don't want to go into that.
No. But yeah, it's a funny thing. What about that? You know, like when you've had a blend and you think, oh, like kind of get a bit of complex PTSD from having like a bit of a nick hit.
Yeah.
From a bit nick sick from a blend.
That has put me off. You know, like, do you ever get like food poisoning from a certain dish and then you don't want to eat it again, like years down the line? Yeah. I've had that with blends. Like that last time it made me sick. Yeah. But you just got to go back in. You know?
It's not the leaf, man. Don't blame the leaf. I've made this coffee and it's really, really, really strong. I don't know what I've done with that, but it's give me a poke up the arse anyway. So yeah, I don't know. I think those two only probably the biggest sort of nick hits that I've got. One was just straight Virginia. The first one, but I've not been smoking long. But yeah, that it's not going to put me off 3Ps. I love 3P. I absolutely love it. In fact, I think I had a bowl might have been the day after. So yeah, straight back on the horse.
Like you said at the start, I think Virginias, for me personally, they've got that built-in slow down system, which is the bite.
Yeah.
So I typically haven't got sick off Virginias. If I'm getting sick off anything, usually it's a Burley. Yeah. Other than the Black Twist, which I mentioned, which is just Virginia, but it's got the dark Indian leaf. And it's so mellowed down because of the steam, especially the black. Yeah. Mellowed down from the steaming and the extended fermentation, but it's so strong. So you gotta be careful with it.
And the Black Irish Rum Maple Twist.
Yes, the black's
nice.
Yeah, black rum is nice.
And I've got the rope. Yeah, apple rope.
I like the maple case with the brown. Yeah, it's one of my favourites. I haven't tried much of the cased blacks. I tend to like the black on its own. It's like barbecue grill. And potpourri.
It is. Yeah, it sounds like a weird blend, but it does work. Weirdly, it works. Yeah.
With the Virginias, just to go into Virginias, I've had a couple of blends in jars for over a year now, and the magic of jarred Virginia is
it's outstanding.
I mean, I may have mentioned this before, but I had the full Virginia flake. Now, if you smoke full Virginia flake from Garworth, you know that it's one to go steady on. Smoke it fresh out the tin. It's very vinegarish, like a bit like apple cider vinegar.
Okay, but like cabbies.
Yeah,
a lot
like the cabbies, well, the Perique. That's a good call. That's a good comparison. But
cabbies.
Yeah, cabbies beautiful. Yeah, but a year in the jar has taken that ACV and turned it into like a applesauce apricot compote kind of thing. Yeah, it's so sweet and so much more mellow.
Have you noticed as well? I've got some blends in jars that I'd had from pretty much from day one that I've not finished going through yet, and I've noticed that some of them start to like crystallise.
Yeah,
you noticed that? Got these crystals that form on it.
Yeah, it's the sugar crystals.
Yeah, I find it's the.
Thank you, bro.
I find the Gareth Hogarth flakes are quite notorious for it.
It's a good sound. It's a good sound.
Good elf. Sláinte.
Cheers. Yeah, my Louisiana flake has crystalled up. It's really beautiful. It's like
Louisiana flake is just
it's a good one.
It's so good.
I would say if you're not a huge fan of Perique or you're looking to get into Perique, if you can get hold of some Louisiana flake, that's a good place to start.
Yeah, it is, because it's subtle and it's quite. I find it quite a sweet smoke for a Perique.
Yeah, and I would also recommend the one that I picked up from Bridge News in Matlock, which is the Peterson Deluxe Navy Rolls.
Oh yeah,
because it's got the Perique. It's a nice Perique hit if that's what you're looking for. Yeah, but it's also fairly sweet.
Yeah,
so you can enjoy that.
I like the tin.
Yeah,
I like a nice tin.
Yeah, exactly. The Bayou Night too.
Now I've still got some of that. I've got quite a lot of that.
Me actually, yeah.
And it's funny because I never really seem to fancy it. I don't know if it's just because of the tin note. Because the tin note is really, really potent.
Yeah.
It's weird. It smells a bit like anchovies.
Yeah,
it's so
good.
Fishy.
Yeah, it's fishy. Yeah.
But like, pack a bowl and start just after the first light, just the first false light. Wow, it's really nice.
Yeah.
Sweetens right up.
It really does. I mean, you are getting like a powerful Perique hit.
Yeah.
But you're also getting some sweetness, which I think is the C&D Red Virginias. You know? It's a really great variety.
Yeah. 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 That big Perique contingent. It's about 50% Perique.
Yeah. Well,
it's a big hit, isn't it?
I heard it's anywhere from like 30 to 50, but either one is a big dose.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the chat doing?
Good. We're good. So, we've got. I think we're pretty much up to speed.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're pretty much up to speed. So yeah, keep them coming, guys. So just in terms of going back to the videos, I've got a couple more that would be that I think we'll sort of start building like a maintenance playlist of things, how to kind of look after stuff. But one of the things that I've noticed that like probably most of my pipes now are starting to get quite heavily caked.
Yeah.
So I thought it might be quite cool to just talk a bit about cake.
Yeah.
How to spot it, how to deal with it. Is it a bad thing? Is it a good thing? What do we do with it?
Yeah. So, first thing to say is that I think don't get like hung up on cake. Don't get like, don't let it ruin your experience.
Yeah.
I mean, don't be like stressing out about if you're developing enough cake or not. If you smoke your pipe consistently, you will build cake.
Yeah.
So what cake is a layer of carbon, which results from the burning of the leaf and the kind of oils and sugars that are in the leaf, and they build up on the ball. So they build up a layer on the ball. Now, that's good for protecting the wood. It's also quite a heat sink, so it will cool down the ball. And the other thing is, it's not something particularly that I do myself, but some people like to dedicate certain pipes to certain styles of blends or singular blends. And so a cake can pick up certain notes like Latakia or Perique or a certain aromatic topping.
Yeah.
And that's a double-edged sword, because it can be great if you're saving that pipe for one blend or style of blend, in which case it will bring out the flavours. However, if you're not a big dedicator of pipes, the other side is that you may get notes of the last thing that you smoked if it's quite heavily flavoured.
It's going to ghost a bit.
It will, and that's what ghosting is. It will ghost the blend. The good news about that is a simple ream back of the cake will get rid of the ghost quite quickly, because it's in the cake that the ghost haunts. So I would say if you don't have one now, it's something that you should get is a pipe knife. So you want a tool that's got a knife on it like that.
Yeah.
So it's blunt, so you're not gonna damage the bottom of the ball, but it's got a little bit of a serrated edge on it, just to lightly scrape around the sides of the ball. Chimney. And to scrape back the cake, because a little bit of cake is good for the reasons mentioned. Too much cake is a bad thing, because
why is that?
Right. Simply the fact that you're losing out on space for tobacco.
Yeah.
And if you look at estate pipes, some of the ones that these old guys were really not looking after a lot, they have like huge amounts of cake that it's a wonder that they were still smoking. The other thing is, when it gets too thick, the kind of expansion and contraction with the heat of smoking it can actually crack the bright. So you don't want that. Another thing that I think about the old cake is, we tend to look at the pipe like that and we say, oh, it's not getting much cake, but I would say look at it dead on. And what you'll find is quite a difference between the rim of the briar and you'll see cake poking out. Because typically we're not building up a lot of cake on the rim. Because we light it and then that burns fairly quickly, and that's when we settle into like the hot bits of the smoke. So I think what you'll find mainly is that the area where cake builds up most is like these kind of central
like that band across the middle.
That central band. And then where it's less so is up at the top near the rim and at the bottom.
Right.
And I think that's generally because most people don't smoke a leaf all the way down, and even if they do, moisture kind of collects at the bottom.
Right.
Even if it's a fairly dry blend, moisture will collect because water is produced as part of the burning process. And where there's water, it's harder for the cake to lay down. So
I've only seen that. Sorry, bro. I've only seen that.
Yeah, go ahead.
I've only seen one blend which has been so dry that it's not ended up sludgy at the bottom, and that was that Caparel
Samoa.
Yeah.
That's just what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got hold of some of the Samoa, and it's extremely dry. Yeah. I mean, we as Englishmen used to Garwith, we get an American blend and we think, oh, this is dry.
Yeah.
But wait till
it was like Tinder, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like, so dry. And I was smoking that pretty exclusively in my little Prince that I've got, my Savinelli 315. And it was just like laying cake down on the bottom. So maybe that's I think people say that Burley's good in general for putting on cake. But that dry Burley Samoa, it was just dropping cake, man.
Yeah. And then just kind of going back to sort of reaming out, and I think that there's a couple of things that I'll maybe just add on that as well. So I've just reamed back that Peterson Aaron, that apple of mine, that bent apple, and I tend to find that when I've just reamed back, that because it's previously absorbed some of that heat, and it's sort of looked after the smoke a little bit easier. The first smoke that I do, that I have after I've reamed back, I can find that it sometimes gets really hot, hotter than it would normally, or maybe, I have to be I have to back off my cadence a little bit with the first one. And the other thing as well that I would say is, if you once you've finished reaming out and cutting that cake back, give it a really good clean out inside, because I didn't. And I took the first hit like, just got a mouth full of charcoal. Just give it a good clean.
Good call. Yeah. Something else I was going to say about cake. No, I can't remember.
Well, I've heard the thing about it, about it cracking, and the other thing as well that I've heard is you don't want cake building up anywhere other than the bowl. If it's in the stem,
you certainly don't want it.
Danger.
You don't want it in the shank for sure.
The shank.
And if you're smoking a Falcon, you don't want it in that draft hole at the bottom.
Right.
That's what I was going to say about cake. Now, early on, I got into the habit of, when I was cleaning out my pipe after a smoke, I don't know why, I think I read it, maybe, I must have read it, cleaning out the pipe and then bending the cleaner in half and scrubbing out the bowl. That is just like not good for the cake.
Yeah.
I would just leave that inside the bowl, right? Let it build up, and then there's going to be, little ragged remnants of leaf in there, and then the next time you smoke it, that kind of like raggedy, jagged surface, that's going to allow greater,
absorption.
Build up. Yeah. So it's got stuff to hold on to.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the way that if you don't heat up a pan, food sticks.
Yeah.
Because metal, if you were to look at it from a microscope, is a jagged surface.
Yeah.
But when you heat it up beforehand, it all tightens up and closes up to create a smooth surface, and then food doesn't stick. So in this case, you want that jagged surface.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's a good shout. I'll come back to pans in a minute, because this is something I wanted to talk about on one of the casts and I never got round to it. But that's maybe one that I've kept in the back pocket for a little while. But yeah, just the last word on the cake stuff. So one of the things as well that I've noticed with because I was exactly in the same situation. I was ramming. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just kind of giving it a good clean, and then one of the guys, and it might have been Pipe Cottage. I can't remember. So if it is Professor Allen, God bless you, sir, but I can't remember. But the technique that the guy used to try and encourage the cake to build was, after you finished, you cleaned out the shank, cleaned your stem, cleaned your mouthpiece. Instead of messing about with the bowl, so just tap all your ash out. It should be nice and fine. You'll have the bits in the bottom, which sometimes because of the dottle and the water in the bottom, it might not burn right down. That's fine. Lift them out. But what he tended to do is just give it a little stir, so you got some ash in the bottom there, so that it was coated.
Right.
And then when he emptied it out, to just give it just once, like that, and you end up with like a bit of ash in there. But then you look inside, and the whole thing's coated with ash. so that helps it to build cake up. Okay. I thought that was a good shout. I've taken it on, and I swear by it now. So that was one little tip that I picked up. I thought that was a good shout.
Yeah.
But just coming back to heated metalwork and pans. So, one of the big things one of the major attractions I think it was for me in pipe smoking was about it was harking back to like a time gone by.
Yeah.
And even saying that, it's like, is it a time gone by? It's still there. We can still buy pipes. You can still smoke a pipe. It's not that it's gone. It's just it's less. It's not as popular now. But also that things that are less popular is the type of cookware that we would have used back in the day. So this whole thing about I'm not a big lover of modern life. I think we've gone many ways a long way the wrong way. But I, on your recommendation, I'd gone around to your house and you were cooking with some Lodge skillets. I'm like, I need to get me one of them. They're brilliant. They're really good. And I remember my mum and dad having one, my nan and granddad having one. And because it's just cast iron, these things just are built like forever. Like they just go down the family line, right?
Yeah, they do.
But the major turning point for me getting one was because I'd had frying pan after frying pan after frying pan for cooking steaks, all non-stick, and all the Teflon's coming off. Luscious, tasty, healthy Teflon.
Yeah. You are eating your microplastics.
Yeah, I'm getting it. It's doing me the world of good. Can you tell? And you said to me, bro, you need to put your big boy pants on and get yourself a couple of Lodge skillets, which is exactly what I've done. And man, they're great. They're really great.
Beautiful piece of kit. Yeah, and I think some of the appeal of pipe smoking, like you said, is it does harken to a pastime, and there's like a piece of kit that remains and requires maintenance, and for some people that's off-putting, but I think for people like me and you,
we love it.
For people listening, we enjoy that.
Yeah.
Like I left my little pan here one time, and you had to put a layer of oil on it.
I couldn't leave it.
Just slightly artistic.
It's a bit spooky.
With a soft art. But appreciate it all the same. So and that's the kind of thing we enjoy.
Yeah.
And,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I think we're the kind of people that like to do things with our hands. You've put this together, and I work with my hands, and I think we.
And also, it's like we're kind of like going out and camping. That's great for camping. You can stick it on I've seen guys just stick it on the barbecue.
Oh yeah, I do that too. Yeah.
And baking with it as well. So you said I've seen you put the and in fact I'd seen all the old sort of chefs and stuff. In fact, even like Gordon and Marco, the cooking stuff in the skillet, stick it straight in the
absolutely
bang,
oven to table.
Man, so good.
I have big pies in my little 20cm thing. You know what I've done as well? When I've been making pizzas, what I'll do is I'll get the peel, flour it up, stretch the dough, make up the pizza on there, and then while I'm doing that, I will take my bigger cast iron pan, which has got like a dense bottom, flip it over, crank the gas on that so it's proper, and then I'm preheating the oven meanwhile, and then I slide off the pizza onto the pan, instant seal, and then boom, in the oven.
Oh man,
I need to get a pizza oven.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
Because a pizza, it's supposed to be in there for 30 seconds, boom, turn, 30 seconds, and then it's done.
Yeah. You get red hot, don't you? Like 300, 400 degrees.
Exactly, yeah. And wood fired.
Yeah.
With a conventional fan oven, you can't get that.
Do it.
You can't do it. It's a different thing, but I would like to get me a pizza oven, a little Uni or something.
Yeah. That's a good
in the summertime.
Remember they were going like hotcakes through the coof.
Yeah.
And everybody was sort of getting into them. I think
from like Aldi, right?
That's right. Yeah. And I think a lot of them have kind of gone a little bit by the wayside now. It's a little bit like with the camper vans. Everybody was having a camper van because they wanted to go on holiday.
Shot up, and they haven't gone down actually.
No, that's true. But I think there's been a lot of unis bought, and a lot of them have just been left standing still. So maybe pick up a good second-hand one.
Yeah, that's a good call. Yeah.
Jimmy King uses an old case pocket knife for reaming. Nice. Okay, that's good. He's old school. Important to clean and ream. Pipe smoke's much better. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. But for me as well, it was when you said like you need some. Just don't ream it all back.
Yeah,
keep yourself some on.
Absolutely. Yeah, and getting onto the subject of like deep cleaning now. People say that after a while, a pipe can go sour, and anything you smoke in it will just taste like ashy and horrible. And I haven't come across that yet, but I do know that people, when that happens, they'll clean it out with alcohol. Now I've done this before because back in the day, I thought I had a pipe gone sour. Turned out I actually just had tongue bite, but it was like a weird thing that was happening to me where my tongue didn't feel bitten. You know, like when you've got that pain in your tongue.
Yeah.
But whenever I smoked anything, it just tasted like this is not right.
It's off. Yeah.
Yeah. It turned out I had tongue bite, but anyway, there's two methods you can use. You can stuff the bowl full of
cotton wool.
Cotton wool.
Yeah.
Or rock salt.
Oh.
And then you tip in a small amount of high proof alcohol. Now in America, I know they like Everclear, which is like a pure green.
101?
Right, yeah. Wild Turkey 101, yeah. And I did mine with rum. That was like the highest thing that I had. And some people say be careful about rum because a lot of commercial rums, they've got a lot of additives in that are a lot basically like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
But I had this organic rum that I got for Christmas, so I'm pretty sure it was just rum and spices.
Yeah.
And like for the next few smokes, it cased everything in rum, which is really nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I wonder if vodka would do it because that's quite clean.
I'm pretty sure vodka would do it.
Good high strength.
Yeah.
So Marcus Renner, do you ever use a pan made of copper? I haven't got a copper pan. I remember going to a place called Ville de la Poêle in France that was in the Auvergne, and the whole town, every shop was a copper pan shop.
Yeah.
A little bit like is it TAs that make all the razors.
Right.
Every little shop sells like Legiol knives and TZ Sard razors. This place just sold copper pans and they were great, but I never picked one up. Pricey now. I would quite like one still, but then again, I can't get past the skillets now.
The skillets are great,
and they're like really good value. And because you said, "Oh, have you thought about picking up a carbon steel?" I said, "Oh, I have, but prices like because you were saying, oh, they're a bit cheaper than a skillet." There's not much in it now, or there wasn't. I think maybe they like it's kind of dragged back up a bit the price of a skillet, but we were getting skillets for like 35 pounds.
Right.
So that's what, $40?
Yeah.
45 bucks. Which is probably really expensive for guys in America. They're probably getting them for like $20 or something.
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah, but for us it was pretty good. Bearing in mind we were paying like £20, 20 quid for a T-fowl or other non-stick.
Yeah.
So you're no better off.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure I've got I think it's 24 centimeter Dubai carbon steel, and I'm pretty sure I got that for like 25 quid. Now this is some years ago.
Yeah, they've gone
you said that they're expensive, and I don't remember it. And then when I looked, and they do seem to have gone up.
They've ratcheted up. Yeah.
I don't know what that is, but to go back to the copper thing, I used to have a copper Ibrick, which is
what's that?
It's a coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's for making...
Oh, is that one of the little...
Right, yeah.
Right.
It's for making, hotly debated, you might know it as Turkish coffee. I tend to call it Greek coffee. Or Armenian coffee. Yeah. But it's like a little kind of pot, like a little kind of like flower pot shaped kind of thing, and it's got a long handle on it.
Yes.
And traditionally you would put it in the charcoal or the heated sand from the charcoal.
Yeah.
Obviously I don't, I stick it on the gas. It's for making Greek coffee, which is a very finer than espresso grind, and you put the water in it, you put the grounds on top, you do not stir it in, you gently heat it up and it creates like a bloom in the grinds. You take it off, put it back on. I think it's traditional to do it 3 times, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, and then you pour it in. It's just like a very strong espresso. You can put a little bit of cardamom in there, put a little bit of cocoa in there, whatever spices you like, a little bit of chai, and it's beautiful after a meal. I don't.
I had one when we've gone to Odyssey, which is the Greek restaurant here in town, and it's nice restaurant, family run, good quality traditional Greek cuisine, and And the missus said, I said to the missus, "Do you fancy a cup of coffee?" And she said, "Yeah." The first time I'd had it was in Crete. In fact, no, actually, the first time I might have had one was when I was at work.
Oh yeah.
Because there was a Greek guy that I used to work with from Poros. I'm pretty sure he made us one, and it was amazing. He said, "Oh, don't drink it all." I'm like, "What do you mean, don't drink it all?" It's like, "I'm really thirsty. Come on, Christos. I'm parched here." And he said, "No. It's like you promised me you don't want to drink it all." It's like, okay. And then I realised that there's no filter. That it just, or the grinds just sink to the bottom. And you just drink the top off. So when they brought it out, they were like, "Have you had Greek coffee before?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I realised, like, the missus hadn't. So she's like, what does she mean by that? Have you had it before? It's like, why is it going to make you a bit crazy? Like, no. It's like you leave the grinds at the bottom.
They put hummus in it in Greece.
That's right. yeah, an olive. Yeah, it was really good, man. It was really, really good. I had that with some baklava. I'm like, oh.
You know, I mean, of all the cuisines in the world, people love Italian, French, Mexican, and I think these are all warranted. But Greek cuisine,
bro,
gorgeous,
underrated.
Yeah,
I think ironically, criminally underrated. Absolutely right. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, I remember. In fact, it was just before I went to Crete. Actually, it was Christos that had said, "Make sure you get like plenty of food." I'm like, yeah, I will. It's like, have you eaten much Greek food? I'm like, well, bits and bobs, stuff that people have brought to church. I've had, but not, I can't say like habitually. I cook Greek food. I had a bit of moussaka, but that's pretty much it.
Right.
But then he was like, "Oh no." So he got me a piece of paper. He was like, "I'm going to write you all these things down. You need to have all of these." So like Cretan apaki, this is what you need. So that's smoked meats, and they put it with egg, and you have it with breakfast. It's really nice. And then there was something called, it was anti-something, and it was anti as in opposites.
Right.
So there's skewers that they put across a fire pit.
Okay.
And roast them, but there's four, so it's in like a kind of a bit of a pyramid, and you see them as you're walking past the tavernas. They've all got these pits, these fire pits, and they're all roasting these spits outside.
Like shashlik.
Two and two, a little bit like shashlik, but a very specific way of cooking them.
Right.
Like spiced and stuff. Oh, Lord.
It's not souvlaki, right?
It was kind of a bit, but it was the method that they used to cook it was particular to that region. But that was really good.
You ever have a spanakopita?
No.
Like Greek phyllo pastry, feta and spinach pie. That's good.
Yeah.
Carby.
Yeah.
Kleftico.
Yeah, Kleftico I've had.
Yeah. I love feta. Feta on anything.
Feta's great. Yeah. And all like the kind of sheep and goat's cheese. Oh man. Sheep's milk stuff. Oh, it's really nice out there. Really, really good. Yeah, I probably eat more dairy there than I do here, and I eat a lot of dairy here.
I run on dairy, I think.
Yeah, that's good. So, we need more Greek food.
Yeah, more Greek food. How's the chat doing, anyone?
It's a little bit quiet, but hopefully, Marcus, that's answered your question. Have you ever used a pan made of copper? I haven't. But I'm on the lookout.
Yeah.
But yeah, so just sort of touching on what we're going to be looking at going forward. So I mentioned it, about doing a range of maintenance videos, and that might be quite helpful.
Yeah. That reminds me, just interrupt, sorry. But speaking of Nixik, we've been talking about Nixik. I made a video a while ago on the subject of Nixik, and it's one that I'm quite proud of actually.
Yeah, good.
So check that out.
That might be one to put in the playlist.
Yeah, pin that. Yeah, go ahead, Master. We're going to do like a series of maintenance.
Yeah, I think it might be good for perhaps do us one on cake.
Yeah,
I've got a pipe that's getting ready for a cutback. Do a little bit of a video on that. That'd be good. Some of the tools that we use, as well about sort of good cleaning techniques. How to keep a pipe clean. It seems like kind of a bit of a no-brainer thing to come out with, but like the number of times I've been out and about with guys who've got old guys who've got pipes, they're like, "Oh, do you clean yours out then?" It's like,
yeah.
They're like, "Oh, I just don't bother." So yeah, just never bother cleaning. So yes, when you're in a pipe cleaner through it, but there are ways and means, and there are things, and there are different types of pipe cleaners, and that might be quite kind of a good thing to do. maybe just about how to store tobacco, good way, rights and wrongs, good ways of keeping it, and what happens if it gets a bit over dry. So all these kinds of things. I think maybe a little bit of a mini series on maintenance.
Yeah. I think what the old guys don't realise is that things aren't like they used to be.
Right.
And there was a time when you could probably walk into any newsagents, tobacconists, and there'd be a selection of pretty cheap briars on the counter.
Yeah. In the basket.
Yeah, and there'd be jars of Condor and whatnot and Garlic in the back.
Yeah.
So you could abuse a pipe back then. But now, we're paying a bit of a premium because we're buying from like Italy and France, and it's a niche thing now. Yeah, so not like it used to be.
No, it's not. So I think it's there's maybe something in that to do some maintenance stuff. So yeah, I think we'll try and kind of do them a bit more regular than. It's not been as regular as I wanted to, and I'm sorry guys for not getting that out quick enough. But it was good. It didn't take ever so long, but it just got me back into editing and stuff. So we'll do a couple more, I think.
We're closing in on October.
Yeah.
So and I recently have been into giallo movies.
Yeah.
Italian kind of like 70s, 80s era movies. And we've been talking about Lovecraft a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think we're planning to do a bit of a Spooktober themed.
Suspiria.
Yeah, Suspiria.
Yeah, it's a good shout.
So we'll do we'll have a little bit of spooky content.
Like
horror movies, horror literature.
Haunted bookshop.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Condor. It does ghost. Sorry.
Yeah, so Ghoster. Yeah. So and we'll be doing that for sure.
Yeah.
So we'll be looking forward to that.
And then maybe some more impromptu ones, man. So it was good, getting us out. I didn't catch anything, by the way. But yeah, doing some stuff by the waterside.
Yeah.
Getting out of the camp here. Maybe do some day camps would be good.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Do some walks and stuff.
Yeah.
Do some stuff on the go.
Yeah, absolutely. Show off the Peak District. And,
right.
Yeah.
That might be a good move. So look, hit us up in the comments, hit us up in the chat. If there's some stuff again that you want us to maybe take a look at, if there's some stuff that you want us to cover, just give us a shout and we'll do that. It'd be nice to do some more giveaway stuff as well. Yeah. I'll try and pick up a couple more blends of snuff.
Yeah.
Because we are really blessed with good quality snuff manufacturers, and it doesn't cost the earth.
No. Yeah.
It's the one thing we got.
Yeah. Exactly.
Where they don't do us yet.
Yeah.
So that's maybe one that we can cover.
I was just going to go briefly into. So checking the analytics of our show, it's like 85% men.
Yeah.
So there's 15% women watching. So probably like admirers.
Yeah.
But so it's mainly a male audience, and I figured at least a few of you are lifting weights out there. So something that I've been doing for a while, and I just wanted to go into. Maybe it's of interest to you, maybe not. Something that I've changed up lately with my lifting routine, which is that in my YouTube feed, this bodybuilder who I was kind of vaguely aware of, Mike Mensa, kept popping up. I think he was Mr. Olympia in '78.
He's a unit.
Absolutely, yeah. Memory eternal. He has passed now. Yeah. So his whole routine, his whole approach to the training thing was that the muscle building stimulus is more like it's not like something that you can increase by doing more volume, lifting more weights for more reps and sets.
Yeah.
It's like an on-off switch. It's either happening or it's not. And so when you've achieved it, there's no point going any further.
Mm-hmm.
So his whole thing was one set to failure, meaning that you can no longer lift the weight.
Yeah.
That kind of breaks down the muscle to the point where it has to overcompensate, meaning not only repair itself, but go past the point of that to build more mass.
Yeah.
So what he said that one set is all that's required, and he would do one set for a muscle group, and then he recommends 4 rest days. And he actually recommends, as you become more advanced, increasing the amount of rest days to the point where you're only lifting once a week.
Oh, yeah.
Now, me typically, I'm getting in, depending on my schedule, 3 or 4 times a week.
Yeah.
So that's something that I'm going to give a try now.
I might be able to manage that.
Right, it's doable.
Yeah.
It's really doable.
Yeah.
So
that's a good shout.
It's something I'm going to give a try for sure, and just see what results come from that. And maybe you'll just see me just getting visibly more jacked.
Like Lou Ferrigno.
Yeah.
You won't like him when he's angry. Jimmy King, thanks. Enjoyed the chat. He's got to run. Jimmy, great to have you on. always a pleasure. Thanks for dialing on.
Thank you for stopping by, man.
So yeah, look, we'll try and get another one in. So we've got the camping next one. So that's probably going to be the next video, I think.
Probably will be, yeah.
So you'll be able to join us for sort of 15 minutes on that one, I think.
Yeah.
And
I mean, depending on how good the signal is, maybe we could do something live. I don't know how we'd work that without the laptop.
Yeah.
But if not, we'll record it as a podcast and we'll get it out the next day.
Yeah, that sounds good. Brilliant. Well, gents, thanks for joining us.
Just one more announcement, which is that we've got an addition to the Smoke Lounge.
Right.
Which I got a little kitty.
New smoke buddy.
A new smoke buddy. Mainly got it for the kids, but I'm sort of into it. Kind of. So we got a little kitten. I called her Cosetta. Little thing. And yeah, so she'll be joining us in it, probably, unless she wants to go and sleep.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Oh, silly question. Does the snuff tobacco come out again somehow?
Not really until you blow your nose.
Yeah.
If you sniff too hard and it actually goes into the sinuses, you will get what's called a drip.
Yeah.
And you'll either get it in your throat, you notice it's in your throat, or if it's kind of cold weather and your nose is running, you might get a little. Which is why it's good to have a tissue or handkerchief.
Right. Invest in some hankies.
Yeah. It's a good habit every time you snuff, just to wipe just to make sure that there's nothing around. Like. You're looking like a brown Tony Montana. So you don't. It's a good habit to have a tissue or a hanky. Yeah. But once you get your technique right, and it will take a little bit of time. The only way it's coming out is when you blow your nose.
Yeah. 2 days time.
Yeah.
I definitely have some hangers on up there sometime.
Yeah.
So gents, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks.
Harry, pleasure as always.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we'll thanks guys, and God bless. We'll see you on the next one.
See you soon. God bless. Thanks everybody.